so-called peace and war cannot heal the country in crisis. Yesterday, President Joseph Walker returned to the country with a peace and war, not with solutions, and a war handed to a sitting president presiding over economic hardship, judicial crisis, and growing public anger. This is a foreign award that lands from a luxury flight, not as an honor, but we consider an insult to the people, an insult to struggling families, an insult to grieving citizens, an insult to a nation that knows the difference between peace and pretense. The image laundering award in reality is an insult because, let's be very clear, there is no peace in empty kitchens. There is no peace in broken hospitals. There is no peace where justice is delayed, denied, and manipulated to the disadvantage of the poor. And yet, the president returns angry that the streets are not dancing, angry that the people are not celebrating. But how do you celebrate suffering? How do you celebrate a peace award when the reality back home is different? How do you dance when your country is in distress? Economic distress, judicial distress. This so-called recognition reportedly from the Center for African Peace and Conflict Resolution may carry some foreign legitimacy, but in the domestic context, it carries moral bankruptcy. There's no legitimacy, there's no honor in the peace award receiving foreign country when your people are suffering back home, because no serious standard of peace can ignore the allegations of brutality, the suppression of dissent, the erosion of trust in public institutions, the expulsion of a certain lawmaker for free speech, Yege Konba, the trial against a certain senator for free speech, Amara Kone, who said what everybody already knows. No serious international standard rewards a government while its people are crying out. And when confronted by the press upon arrival, what did Joseph Boakai say? He dismissed the media. He dismissed the people. He dismissed the criticism, though they are valid. He labeled citizens as barking dogs for speaking out against ills in society. That reflects a failure of leadership from an elder president who ought to embody traditional respect and values and guardians. Unfortunately, he calls you, the Liberian people, barking dogs. Unfortunately. The president's childish outburst confirms simply what many already fear, that this trip was not about honor or dignity to the state. It was about fake image building, fake image laundering. It was about praises he can get back home. It was about escaping reality while the country burns quietly at home. It's sad, so sad, the president, in love with tyranny, travels all the way in foreign country for glory, because back home, praises are in short supply. And tragically, while the president traveled in search of personal glory, hospitals remain empty and bankrupt. Shelves remain dry. Families remain stranded every day. While his luxury convoy drove from Rabos International Airport with his trophy back home to a family enjoying surplus, Liberians continue to be burdened. Empty bags, empty few things, empty futures of the youth. So no, Mr. President, no, the streets cannot dance. The streets cannot celebrate. Not when lives are getting harder and harder every day. Not when justice is getting weaker every day. Not when the gap between the rulers and the rule is widening day by day. And this is where the truth becomes unavoidable. For nearly 3 years ago, Mr. President, you promised a new beginning. You promised a moment of integrity, a moment of justice for the poor, a moment of responsible leadership, mature leadership, accountable leadership. But today, Look around. This is not a new beginning. This is rather the return of darkness. Darkness so thick that you can hardly see through. A darkness Liberians have already paid for with blood. 14 years of crisis, with suffering, with a war that was so disastrous that it destroyed families, destroyed country, it destroyed 250,000 innocent lives. We will not travel this road again, because from the very beginning, the signs were there. Before the ink on your inaugural oath could dry up, public resources misallocated for inauguration celebration were swallowed up in controversy, misused, unaccounted for, treated like private property. And that was not a mistake. That was a signal that what Unity Party officials did, eating up public resources among themselves, was a signal that corruption had returned, that impunity had returned, that arrogance was back. And since then, everything has followed on the same wrong, evil trajectory. The rule of law continuing to be undermined, turning laws violated and confiscated, due process ignored and trashed underfoot, the economy crushing and killing the people every day, prices rising, jobs disappearing, young people abandoned, families cannot eat, graduates cannot find work, civil servants cannot survive. And what does this government do? Ignore the plight of the people, the struggling people, while government officials continue to live large, eat large, and build large homes in foreign countries, some locally. This is not governance. This is marginalization of millions of Liberians. And then the blood of innocent citizens continue to be spilled. Peaceful citizens demanding justice continue to be met with brutality and killed in cold blood. Lives lost, justice denied. And the message you are sending is chillingly clear. You are creating, Mr. President, a climate of fear that is threatening civil, legitimate stability, sending a message that unless you stay quiet, you will suffer. At the same time, democracy itself is being weakened. A partisan elections commission's chairman has been appointed. Legislature in chaos, a judiciary ignored. Elected voices continue to be targeted, and voices who speak truth to power are now being targeted, sent to jail, or silenced. We have seen this road before, Mr. President, and we know exactly where it leads. Instability, conflict, and national collapse. We will not go there again. We will not allow you to collapse our democracy, destroy our country, and retrogress us back to where we were. War, never again. That's why we will stand and fight peacefully. The people have been pushed out of their homes, while the powerful expand their homes, building homes, and you do nothing about it. Is this justice, Mr. President? This is not justice, but oppression of the poor. So let us stop pretending this is accidental. This is a larger part of a pattern, an evil pattern of governance that is being perpetuated and enlarged. A dangerous pattern that must be resisted. A pattern that, if left unchecked, could break this country down to pieces and throw us back 1,000 years. Because when a nation reaches this point, to sit is to compromise your integrity. and silence becomes surrender. We will not be silent. Neither are we going to sit supine and allow a desecration of our democracy. So today, we say clearly, boldly, without fear, we will not sit and watch our country collapse. We will not normalize injustice. We will not bow to arrogant, discourteous leadership. We will not. Truth may be crushed to the ground, but it always rises again. So no matter how many barking dogs are unleashed by the degraded ministry of disinformation under an ineffective Jeremy Pierre, the people may be insultingly dismissed by an arrogant, loose-talking president, but the fight can never be dismissed. And that fight is Joseph Boakar's so-called Peace Award is undeserved and a mockery to the people, because Liberia is in a preventable crisis, not a peaceful situation. And so we will always speak the loudest and speak truth to power. So, no matter how many barking dogs are unleashed by a degraded ministry of disinformation under an ineffective Jeremy Pierre, the people may even be insultingly dismissed by an arrogant, loose-talking president, but the fight cannot be dismissed. Joseph Boakar's so-called Peace Award is undeserved and remains a mockery to the people of Liberia, because Liberia is in a preventable crisis at all levels, not peace.
Concerns that were raised specifically on the issue of one of our colleagues being expelled. And then I will talk a little bit about the border issue because of time. I will send it to my colleagues. I was one of those who didn't sign the resolution. I issued a statement, in fact, talking against it. I felt it was wrong. It was a wrong precedent that was being set. I believe that it's important that we go through formal processes, and I believe that it's important that we respect the rule of law in our country. That was my statement. I made that statement. I've been very clear around that. Honorable Culliver is currently taking it to a Supreme Court, and that process is ongoing. Regarding the issue at the border, I was one of the delegates that went with our speaker, our deputy speaker, to the border to be able to assess the issue with along the Guinea-Liberia border. That issue has been discussed with the various presidents. We are not sure why some of these things were not included in the report. I begin a soft pedaling. I believe it's something that we should address very clearly in those reports, and this is something we'll discuss with the leader of our delegation. So again, I'll turn it over to my colleagues, but again, I want to be very clear that I didn't sign that report expelling the member of the House of Representatives. Our other colleagues
for all that you do, all that you say, a country of respect, a country was the home of many, many African leaders for liberation, and our desire to make sure that we bring back the respect of this country and the recognition it should have. I want to welcome you, Dr. Jallo, our traditional leaders, all of you who have participated to this extent to be able to present this document. I want for us to know that it happened to be a good coincidence also that this is the very place I sat to sign this thing before the international. I don't know how it happened this morning, and I'm happy that we are here again. You know, I want to be very, very clear to you. And I've said it over and again. I didn't come to this position to look for presidency. We came on a rescue mission. We came to make sure that God will use us to reposition our country for respect and development. This country was not made for special people who were made for Liberians. And everything that is happening is in order so that God will help us to reveal His purpose for this country. Some people thought that signing the war on economic crime, executive order, was intended for them or for them. But none of the above. It was intended to make people know that Liberia is a country with a rule of law, with respect for humanity, with a country that determined to remove impunity. Maybe people saw people in the street walking around and they were not complaining, they were not protesting, that they were happy. People were not happy, but they couldn't do anything about it. We all know that when people are dead and gone, they are dead and gone. But the way in which we dispose of the issues is what haunts people. And that's why we decided to put things in their rightful place. Maybe there are many people who don't understand that sitting at the Capitol and voting that we who did all these things, from now on nothing will happen to us. You think that was enough? It was not enough. When you are part of the international world, they bring things, you ratify them, you're adding them to your laws. You think because you can forgive yourself, but that's not enough. Everything you sign, it becomes part of your law. And so the international community look up to us. Is Liberia a country that's governed by rule of law? Does Liberia have respect for human lives? Liberia care for other people? Why did the other people, if they were just enough, why did the other people come here to die for this country? Why? Why did they just sit there and look at us? Why did they have to come and rescue us from ourselves? We are part of the international, we are part of the global community, and we have to respect that. The same way we go to other people's countries, we live there, people come here. And so it was important for us to tell the world that we respect the lives of people, that we respect to honor people who are gone, and that's the reason we thought it was to go to Grand Jita to do the reburial. Our traditional people say, if you plait the hair and the lights in there, you'll lose anything. Because you'll be scratching them until we felt it was necessary to go and tell the people we are sorry for what happened to this country. That's the responsibility of leadership. A leader should not be concerned about whether or not people will like you, is that people will respect you. People will like you for different reasons. They like you when you're kind to them, they like you, but they should respect you for what you stand for. And that's the most important thing. And we wanted to make sure that we are Liberia, not just for ourselves, not for position, but to unify this country, make our people feel one, make us put our differences aside, make sure that we tell them the wrongs that happened were not the wrongs that we all agree with. And that's why we did what we did. And I want to thank you all for understanding and for standing by us. Perhaps people do not understand that the governing of a country goes beyond just being at the capital. And I'm happy that the Local Government Act is going to power, to know that each person has a responsibility to this. Let's face it, when something happens way in, say, Fasama or other people, you got police there, you got soldiers there, you know how they run in their country, but do we care for them? We don't care. All we do, time come, we go there for them to vote for us. But those people are running the country. They are serving the country. They are keeping maintaining the rule of law from here. And some of them hardly get anything. But if they don't have peace there, you'll feel it here. And so we don't even know the number of people that are contributing to our peace, the number of people that make us sleep in the night, the number of people that are helping to keep them. They send their children here to school. If by what we have done, we're saying to the world that Liberia respect laws, that Liberia is not standing for impunity. Now I kill your pa, kill your ma, I'm here to rule you. That we have laws that govern us. Not that because you are appointed or you're elected to be president, is that everything here for you, and you are here to make sure that the resources of the country that they put in your hand to manage are managed to benefit everybody. That's what I say. It's a trust. It's to say, I don't care what you do, somebody has to be at the head. It's a football team, you're the captain. But you must know, there's a team, you alone can win. And so you have to respect that. That the resources there are there to make sure that people's children go to good schools, that the hospitals are there. You can build 100 houses if you can get a road to go. If the airport not working, what does it mean? And so the economic crime to take people's resources and think that because they put you there, that they are all just for you. It's not something that you take lightly. How would the other people go to hospital? You can fly out of here. But that's not what they put you there for. They were saying, we put you there so that you make these things work for everybody. So that our children can go to good schools. All these things we talk about, people corrupt, people stealing, the small people children don't want to go to school. If you put the right school there, you encourage the children, you put the right thing there, they want to do it. They see other people are benefiting from it. So our job here is to make sure that we put laws in place that we respect our people. Some of the people didn't go to school because some of them even work for their children to go to school. That doesn't mean they don't know anything. It means that they did it to give chance for other people, and that we're supposed to incorporate them. You'll be surprised how much wisdom most of these people have in it. The wisdom that led them up to the time that we became modernized. What do you think people have provided medicine for their people in the country? They were not waiting for modern medicine. My mother was handicapped and she became blind. My mother was blind for 2 years. One time I was there in Monrovia. My friend Jinkin Baker called me. He said, "Your mom can now see." Who did the medicine? The traditional people. And up to her death. So we are saying that we accommodate improvement, but you can't disrespect what has brought us to this time. Because every day in life, things are supposed to improve. Today we're talking about AI. We didn't talk about it. But if we're going to wait for AI, all of it will be gone by now. So when our people say you sit on the old man to make this new one, they're not saying something foolish. They're telling you that there were things that brought us out. The discipline of the past. Today we all sit on the radio here, people just abusing vulgar words. That's not part of our culture. Where I come from, some kind of abuse, you abuse, the women will take something and nothing away you. Respect for elderly, respect for people. But we say today we take all of those things for granted. Oh yeah, I'm modern. And these are the things that bring society down. A society without respect, a society without culture, a society that doesn't care. You think everything will come, we take it in. It doesn't help you, it doesn't help me. Leaders are not there to go fight people. But our people have a saying that if one mouth doesn't speak for the other mouth, you go as a stranger somewhere and you're hungry. You don't go to the house and say, "Hey, I can't bring stranger." Somebody got to speak for you. Some mouth. That's what leadership is about. To make sure that things are in order, that they respect and they regard everybody. And this is what we are here to do. In a way that people will benefit. The greater people benefit, the better life for everybody. And so we want to thank all of you who have participated in this to make sure that we have this as a guide as to how we advise people, as to how people know that tomorrow we cannot rule this country by taking up guns. We have issues, we discuss it. We want to make sure that that's why we came up with arrest agenda for inclusive development, meaning that we're going to build roads to open up the country. We can show that we're going to do agriculture to feed our people. They've been doing it for themselves, that they can do it better, provide food. They want to make sure that education will be provided for. Children will go to good school. People will get medical supply, that they will not be going everywhere You might be able to go, but they don't have the money to go. And they are not supposed to. We're supposed to have it here. What we don't have here, well, we can understand that it takes time. That the elderly will be respected. I've said it, even when we travel, I see all the chiefs, the men running behind vehicles. We shouldn't be doing that. We shouldn't be doing that. And that's why we have said, and we will look for the money, make sure, gradually, that we will make sure we start at the county level, that every county, the women there will have a bus that they can ride at the
good morning, good
unit,
afternoon, good evening, based on the timeline, and it's always good to be here on this wonderful Thursday morning. It's good to be back on your radio as usual, folks. Welcome. This promises to be good, and this is your breakfast info companion program. The morning hour is heard on Cool 91.9 Cool Radio Online, our YouTube channel, and all the outlets at the doorsteps, in your offices, your vehicles, on your sick bag, at your business center, whatever. It's always a pleasure having you watching us from across the world, following us via radio. And we'd like to say to you, thanks always for taking up the time to listen to some of these critical analysis, truth, without fear, without favor. As usual, we walk the walk together and talk the talk in making Liberia better. Without fear, without favor, undiluted truth. We do not just break the news, but we go beyond and make sure that facts supersede, opinions and views. I'm Wiki Brooks, as usual this morning. Ambassador VAR is alongside Andrew Gamma. He controls the sounds and video this morning. Watching, so we say thanks so much for being part of the conversation. You listen to the episode play as it relates to the president. Yesterday we are getting few steps closer to this issue of the war in economic crime codes. And the team presented a draft copy to the president for on war, and they have also planned to have dialogue or engagement with our national legislature where they adapt, and they are prepared to make some clarification that we move forward. In the words of the president, this is not targeted at anyone. Even those who die must have justice in their graves, and people who committed economic crimes must also face the full weight of the law and not political wisdom. And we hope that this will resonate well with those who have been in charge, that we do not be selective as we go for those who will be, or those who created mayhem in this country, economic crimes, that they pay for the stewardship other than using their political association, their political alignment with other political parties or actors, to get at them. But it is good that justice is served. We have received, we're going to talk about these things and talk about it a whole lot, because a whole lot is a draft. The president received it. We will follow all of what leads to the finalization and making sure it's fully united and in full swing, that people will understand that they will not just act and walk scot-free. There is this major issue that we'd like to talk about a little bit. And Liberians, both home and abroad, are falling victims on a daily basis. Some get too frustrated. They work for the money or the heads. We back home, other places, they across the world, parts of Africa, even right here in Liberia. Some of the work these people do, where we are not there to see them, and they send some money back home to purchase a land, build themselves, dwelling plates, and get some other things doing. In Liberia, you'll find a man who ride motorbike, somebody who sits from the morning to night in a commercial vehicle, saves some money, the woman who sells pepper, rights, oil, and a whole lot. Some of them are doing domestic settings, working in homes of people. They are maltreated. Talk to them anyhow, but yet instead, they muster the courage to say, look, I'm going to have this peace. And you will find some of those land sellers with two people, they will sell the land to individuals. And somebody tells you, as soon as you buy the land, you should start constructing. Start building. And sometimes, some of these folks, they buy these land to keep for the children. Sometimes they got purpose. Okay, you need to develop the land. That's just one side of it. And you got sometimes some of the surveyors who are not honest and sincere how to carry on survey. You know, because of all of the conflicts over the period of time with land issue across Liberia, where lives were taken away, people get badly wounded. Today, some of them are carrying the scars, and a whole lot. Some people will have to waive it because they do not have the muscles, the financial strength to fight, to make sure they see the end, because they did not pick the money from the ground, or it did not fall from the sky. They earnestly work for a saving for the better tomorrow. Because of all of the noise, oh, this issue, in the wisdom of the government and all of the multiple complaints, with support from international partners who have started land issues across the world where conflict led to country and country fighting, tribes, poor. People from this village will not cross over because they claim that this place for them, another place for them, all of these things. So to have these things, you have our traditional chiefs and elders settling some of this matter. And so in the wisdom of the government said, look, let us establish an institution solely responsible to handle land matters in this country, that we take the burden and that huge responsibility from the Ministry of Mines Energy. Let them focus on our mineral and focus on our energy sector as well. This land issue, they get it off the shoulder and have an autonomous agency created to adjudicate some of the cases, or looking at some of the matters and settle some of the things. Proper survey, who got this place, who got that place, how to purchase land, the processes leading to acquiring it, and the kind of a land to buy, where to buy it, structures, and all of these things. So the land authority came into being. All of the institutions will not be 100% perfect, and we expect them to do more and do the right thing. And so this is it. The folks there, they've been striving, trying to do their best, but there are a lot of other reports that will come from people who sit in position, just want to do what they want to do and think they can just do it. Some of them even get involved into beyond the scope of operation. But fingers usually pointed at our judiciary system in how they handle land cases. Don't get us wrong. There are legal luminaries in this country, law practitioners, who understand exactly why, and the ethics and moral, they keep it in hiding, sting. So they do not just adjudicate cases because the higher bidder takes it. No, there are folks who understand the law is the law. Why there are folks into our legal system who are saying handling land cases as a major business after being paid, and you think you can help people. You know, you wake up in the morning, you look at people, you throw them in in cells, and we want this to claim the attention of the county attorney in Magibi. Magibi got too many land cases, a lot of complaints coming from there. Land issue is not played. We know in this country the history of land matter led to deaths. People going to survey, they have to take young men with them with cutlasses, preparing just to to repel who comes in to reject them. That should not be the case. And these things are happening because some of the folks who are responsible to handle some of these matters, when you go before them, they prefer the cash other than looking into the matter and giving a fair judgment and say, yeah, this is clear. Like in Magibi County. And we hope that this comes to the county attorney as well, the Minister of Justice, the land authority, and other folks. You got folks, everybody will not just be crying with your name. Too many cases. You send people to jail at will. You said, I'm not free, this person. If I say I'm sick, I will walk away. I'm going, I'm not around. I'm not the one who sent this person. You issue a writ for arrest. The name of those individuals are not there. Where did it come from? Nobody knows. Or you are magistrate. So no, that is a new person. All of these things. We hope that some of our folks will conduct themselves. Too many people cannot be crying with your name. Too many people cannot be crying with your name. You talk about the Bonnie Ministerial Court in the swimming notice. Almost everybody goes over there crying with one magistrate there on Lily, Cecilia Rogers. Everybody will just be crying with your name. You sending people to jail like you have, you build your own cell and just do it. We hope this matter. And there are too many people who are willing to even come out on some of these things. You see young people, old people, from various disciplines who are not even party to whatever conflict, but they're standing to do a piece of job. You collect them, you jail it. And when you get into you switch your phone on, you run it from this side, you go into the other side, you claiming you're sick, you give all of your excuses only because you think you got that power. Infringe on the rights of other people. Power in your hand. I'm the magistrate here. I do what I want to do. If I say, sometimes you don't even know who are around you. Just talk, and everybody will just keep complaining about you, about you, about you. Handle land cases with care. Handle the cases with care. That's for tomorrow. After serving in the public, you will return to the private sector. You will face some of those very people that you put tears in the eyes for the 1 or 2 cents allegedly that you've been receiving and just sending people, dragging cases. It is always great to serve a country, but don't allow people cry on you. Nobody say people should just be praising God to you. And we hope Magistrate Cecilia Rogers will understand, and we hope that the county attorney and other folks will take charge of some of these matters, some of the cases that are coming up. Too many reports. Reportedly that this person doing this, this person doing that. That's just the tip of the iceberg. Tomorrow, another breakfast will be served. But we think that it is time some of these things come to an end. Sometimes some of you people don't know how difficult it is for people to own these things. When you are privileged, fortunate to be in a particular position that anybody could be in tomorrow, do the honorable thing. So we hope that the matter will be well handled. You know, we have to say these things. We have to say these things. Yeah. And if measures are not put into play, we will continue to have these things. And those who are close with authorities to take some of these matters and turn it over to the relevant authority to investigate and come to a logical conclusion that tells that this party wrong, this party right, this party own this party you are not. But this piece for you, this for this person. Simple as that. You know, normally during campaign, there are too many folks that join political parties. Sometimes smaller parties will be, you know, they were lying with a much bigger party. And at times, they go into bargaining. Commitment and promises are there. That if you support me, I win. You can rest assured that you will have a place and a say in my government. Some will go to support personally and do not request for anything. But because they know that the both of you share the same ideology and you are like minds, so they go for the kind of support with you. And they got folks following them. They are foot soldiers. They're into the slums, the ghettos. They are building cells for you into the trenches, making sure that you go all out and selling you, making sure that you are the right person. Sometimes the 3-4 political parties. Like we saw the UP Alliance, other political parties that supported the Unity Party to return to power. We saw that with the CDC. But then she was a Congress for Democratic Change. But when they needed the support, it became a coalition. The party won. There were folks from other parties like the MPP, the LPDP, the PUP, and other political parties. Some of them got spaces there in the government. There were some who felt they were marginalized. They would not be looked at. They were given position where the presence were not felt, and they were just almost like in a packing order. They came in the government in a dime, tying up the government after working all through. You know, some were given 6-month jobs, 3-month jobs, with all surety that the government, you know, they were going to win. The same came with the Unity Party and the Alliance. They won. 2 notable names that a lot of folks saw, heard. You know, the two of them got their own upbringing, and they respond to issues, they address issues the way they think that it is proper to address. Come to think about the Yeke Koluba. He has all of the attitude, but you know, one part a lot of folks talk about his history is that he also massively campaigned to bring this government to where it is. The likes of Amaracone, who's a senator of Bakulu County, former finance minister, somebody who was in charge, making sure that the votes were protected. And a lot of folks were looking at, hey, at times, people pointing a finger that he was even the one who announced that the Unity Party has won, even before the defeat, because he was in the war room and coordinating things and knew exactly how the votes were coming in, and there was no way somebody tampered with it. All of these things, everybody here, and he also won. He supported the Unity Party, but not on their ticket, because of all of the parties, he felt working with the Unity Party much easier because they shared the same ideology. You know, they could work together. And so he ran as an independent candidate in the senatorial race in Bakulu, and he won. But since taking power, he wanted those persons, regardless of the support that he gave to the Unity Party, he's been one of those persons who have been strong on his government, not in an upburst manner and using some other words, but he has been able to critique his government. Some will say constructively. There are others who feel that you are disloyal. You pulling the clothes from the devil that you dress in the corner, and so you need to go behind the scene to offer some tutorial or pieces of advice, and not to do it in the open. But most of the time, at the end of his criticism, there are recommendations. The likes of the law who also have said, why it is true we brought this government holiday over. There are folks who say not much have been said. Sometimes some of these things are said, done to win public sentiment, to win the fear, because at times when the people come to the public space and they are missing the mark, and when they know that they are gradually getting disconnected to the people that brought them, and don't even care about the people sometimes when the people do not see them. I hope you get me. Where the people do not even see them, don't lay their eyes on them. You only hear about the people. So some of the folks were honest. Folks sit with some of them and ask, Chief, your people are complaining. So you sit. He said at times, he said, look, let me strategize. Let me win some of them over. Let me score some political goods. So you come out, and say some things. He said, yes. But I'm not gonna have said it, that he's been marginalized, he's been put aside by the Unity Party. He was being clear And one thing he was earnest in his conversation to say, when he went over to the president, you don't forget now, these are folks who know one another for the long period of time. When Amar was in the government, then current president was vice president then. So they have come a long way. So coming to give the support was saying much easier and a very easy decision to make. But he thinks that he been pushed aside and marginalized in the Burkite administration by some political allies. By some political allies who are talking and saying, but he said when he met the president, but then he was a candidate. When he met him, there was no commitment. He was clear. The president did not, and he did not request any favor in return, but that space to reach out, probably to advise in the governance structure or system of the country. Is alone, Mr. President, in this way you are proceeding this wrongly, or we can get it done in this way. Or Mr. President, the economy of the country, we need to fix it. And there are a couple of other things. You know, he spoke on the issue of Yeget as well. But before then, he also said that he been put aside. Yeget too have said what they spoke about yesterday, what the campaign for, they are not seeing it. So in a shorter time, Yeget have fallen on as well. As you may be aware, he having some serious political battle. He's touring the country, you know, making sure that the unity party-led government is not routine. Comes 2029. He's been around, and our folks, the colleagues, thought that the border crisis between Liberia and Guinea, where he spoke, he was expelled, but the matter is still before the Supreme Court. He's fighting it, but the colleagues have said times over matter, but numbers, you run where you want to run. But these individuals that brought this government with their contribution, not just only two of them. There are a lot of other folks who did the same, but they knew exactly everybody got their own political tactics, their strategies they want to use. So everybody will not just do it. They understand the terrain, where they come from, and know what sort of strategies or mechanism to put into place to make sure that they get people over. But in the body politics in our country, truth telling, very difficult for folks to take. Sometimes these things, when people are saying it, it looks so bad or it sounds so bad that you can be and speak against. That's the kind of a politics we have practiced over the years. We'll give you history. Too many people sat in position in this country. When they spoke, they were kept on the side. You know, sometimes some of our leaders in this country, let me say you, representatives, senators, ambassador, minister, superintendent, mayor, commissioner, even people who are even running their own private businesses, principals of schools, community leaders, youth leaders. They feed on gossip. And this is something that have brought most of our leaders down. This is something that brought most of our leaders down. When those who are surrounding you and they get a close proximity and to some extent influence on you, you have to be mindful and rethink, especially where sometimes when pieces of advice come, you have to rethink and think it over by yourself and make some good judgment. You look at the good side, the bad side, whether it will help to make or break you or your government. So, but I'm not going to say some of the folks, they are resented his influence, knowing full well how he helped for the 2023 general presidential election. He coordinated, he made sure that things went, but the president did not promise him and he did not promise the president. But that space to see the president is not there. And in his speak out, there are a couple of things he said. And he said, when people saw what I did, when I met with President Bouaka, he made one request. He said, I want you to help me protect the vote. That's what Americans said. And he said, they did not promise anything. And I never made any demand, and he never made promises to me. He said about the coordinator for the Bouaka campaign in the second round of the 2023 election, and they all accomplished it. The president got elected. They all had a victory trip to Washington. But he said the political allies who had not been included in the trip turned against him, blaming him for the exclusion, saying, the president, where were you? You know, meaning you're against, you have an influence probably to some extent in some of the folks who are now getting in the government. And I'll take it back in memory lane. Because sometimes when people say some of these things, and sometimes when people speak to the leader, when they respectfully disagree, and if the leader is in a position surrounded by too many people who believe that they got this influence, or they are overprotective and don't want to give the space to others. That's how sometimes some of these things happen. During the regime of former President Charles Taylor, when there were times they said, oh, the government was corrupt. Did the government corrupt? And Chief C.V. Allen, being a chairman of the party, he also echoed it. It brought a short fallout between he and his brother and friend Charles Taylor, that he stayed so much long. They had this issue. You know, speaking truth to power is long, but we need to work on it. What people are saying, let's see reality. But when the leader side and realizes, you know, we have to fix it. We have to work on it. We saw that with the CDC government. There are ministers who later complained that they were barricaded, they were denied from seeing the president. They saw the president only 1 or 2 times at cabinet meeting, but not to have any discussion of how the ministries were being run. But you have few ministers who have unrestricted access to him. We're not saying everybody will just go. But there are people when they're in strategic and key position, at times the president needs to have conversation with them. Where you have somebody who comes from the Senate and help you win the election. There are issues on the Senate. There are things that must be discussed. Or sometimes some of the ministers who are working, some of the people are watching it and sitting with the president asking how you see this government. Sometimes people want to give that. But, you know, most of our leaders in this country, I say most of our leaders in this country, sitting with them, sometimes 1 or 2 times you sit with them and just tell them, they have to respectfully know that you will not have that kind of conversation. They will snub you in public. When a public gathering, use that diplomatic skill and just shake your hand once in a while. But just know you will be in that position until the regime comes to an end on all. Or you are dismissed, or you are suspended. We saw that. We heard it. In the words of the late Senator Johnson, he said one minister told him that in his 6th year, 4 and some more years, he never got a call from the president. They never met officially except for official function to like, oh no, yeah, that's the Minister of Information. You're spokesperson of the government. And there were other ministers who complained. Director. When they went to see the president, they were kept outside for hours and later told that the president was busy. That's true. But these things reportedly were being repeatedly done. Ambassador, good morning.
Good morning, and welcome to our folks out there. You know, sometimes one are tempted to ask as to why our institutions are not helping to build society. We made mention of the judicial system in our country. They have a role to play. But every time there are repeated complaints of the system failing to deliver justice, and it's not helping the society. It's not helping. It's just leading the vast majority to be lawless, outlaw, and just do whatever they want to do. And the president needs to pay attention to these things, because there are so many issues surrounding his cycle that are coming out. Plans that they had. Remember, they were the same thing. Remember the Mamalu saying, they said the plan was thwarted. Folks are complaining about the way, from a manner they thought that the government would have functioned. It seemed. You get called back. And right now, Mark Jabate is at the verge of resigning his position because he's no longer finding a way through. He has seen another person who was sent to his position be confirmed to take over, and he said that for the fact that they have received that letters, he have to leave the office. But he's not happy. But these are things that need to be considered very seriously. Look, on the other hand, you're hearing that the president is not a reconciler. The president needs to reconcile the country, reconcile others with him.
And there are folks reportedly that Amakwane, in the days of former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, had this huge influence on her. And knowing full well the Amaratu served for the 12 years in a government, that, and knowing President Baga, who also served at the time as Vice President for 12 years, his closeness could threaten certain folks. You know, people got away with just thinking how to conclude.
Sure.
And sometimes, you know, that's what we say. If I would say that thing, and what people who wanted to be president, wanted to be representative, senator, look, there are folks surrounding you, are serious obstacle to your growth. They disconnect you from your people. They take their own action only because they believe that this person could turn something around.
Sure.
Thinking that when this person go, maybe this person been hearing all of the gossip that coming from the surrounding of the president, and going there could clean that surrounding, and people who lost their job or they transferred. So for that reason, you put all strategy, obstacle that this person would not have. Let me say, and you were there, we're not going to call the name. I remember a very senior government official. You sat there in the George Trial-led government. I still remember. Who said that some of the folks who had advisors to him, their paycheck was dead for the end of the day, but they were not given chance to sit with him because they knew the kind of influence they would have had. They were going to convince him. You know. And that was said, and the person in question, you know exactly what the person going through. Boldly saying that when the people go around, you listen to the late Solo.
Sure.
He spoke about some other folks. The reason why, because somebody started to barricade him because they felt he had this kind of influence on former President Weah. Protecting the environment that you don't have the kind of space. And it breaking the society down because our leaders will not be fed with the right pieces of advice. They will be surrounded by people who are sycophants, who will do praise singing from morning to night, and you think you are infallible, you're not making some mistakes.
But so you always hear government go, people complain that, oh, the way they started the whole process, they have changed.
Yeah.
Strange people who are not part of the making come and overshadow everything. And those who were there to keep the fire burning, they've been placed on the sideline every time. And that you always see that every time the government comes to power, not too long, you hear the person saying that the government move.
Yeah.
We see what about the government say, no, we want the government to move. And that deceptive act in our democratic process needs to be looked at carefully.
And that no better way to place it. And now, let me say something and say it again on this platform. It is time that we change our political landscape.
Sure.
Change the narratives and the dynamics, and start to bring in new ideas and be innovative and creative. You know, this tendency of not telling the people the truth, of not being able to control the expectation, because all of our parties, you know what they fail to do. You see, why is you want to convince the people to vote for you? You gotta be mindful of some of the things that you place before them. Yeah. You have to be mindful of some of the things. You heard former President Charles Taylor, no child in this country will ever go to bed, but going to go to bed or eating. The people wanted to hear those things.
Yeah.
When he got there, kids were going to bed. Madam Sally, at a point in time, they were talking, quote unquote, I think she said, you know, almost all the students have access to computer and all of these things. Parents want to hear these things.
But just a look, it was the other way around.
It was the other way around. Civil servants will be paid on time. We saw them protesting for the salary. The next group of people came that they would, you know, the proper agenda. They will lift poverty. They will lift the people off from poverty. You know, put them in at the end of the day, the very people could not manage and you could not deliver. They send you out. Today again, from the inner cycle, people complaining.
We hearing it.
You heard during the regime of former President George, you heard some of the minister, director, who said they were just in place in opposition, but they never had access to the leaders that they had access to before. There are protocol things will change, they understand that. But there are certain folks, ambassador, who no matter what, you got to keep them around.
And we can't continue policy democracy.
No, you can't run people who surrounding the president, our presidents who have come and go. You know, you can't run the country like you're running your private business or you hiding something, and you think that when Wiki goes to see President Bogart, mean that he going to tell he carry complaint about the other minister and that other minister.
So let disallow them.
It said that when people go to see it, because you got to look at it always. It said that when somebody goes to see the president and he asks them one or two questions behind closed door, and when that person leaves, there are actions taken, so they surrounding, they feel threatened by certain people, so let them give the space. Because what normally we hear, we know our leaders who have all of the advisors. So for now we asked, You know, and they need to speak to some of these things in background.
Sure.
Because you can't be having an advisor on economic, religious advisor, you know, senior political advisor, and all the different advisors. And you still see things the way they are. So somebody needs to come clear to tell us, look, you don't see that woman like that, you can't listen. Just as we heard that, you know, in the typical American house, the boy can't listen.
Yeah.
They came back, they waited after 6 days before today. We are told that what the woman that used to say to the president, we are that man can listen, he can keep things in her. Tell him to where he want for you. Tell him to
We can continue.
that country here, they're not business. The same thing will happen yesterday, it happened today.
Every time people, you say to the people when you go look, when you get the power, you do something otherwise. And the envy, the hate, the jealousy continue to abound.
And the reason why it happened, Master, the bottom line here that we said, if we try, if you know, when you make government work unattractive to people who only wanting to steal, people who just want to amass wealth that they can explain, nobody will be running for these things. But because they know the kind of a benefit, the salary that in it, that you can build a house in 2-3 months, sitting in one position, you don't want to be taken out of that, so you do everything that you need to do. You see currently you see officials of government who are sitting in position, they are doing pressing. They pressing the government, but they are not leaving it with the independent minds and other folks to critique them constructively and bring it to the public. Say, yeah, you are making some strides, but you need to improve on it. But if you start to sing your own song and praise yourself, CDC praise yourself, or praises brought her down. Unity Party folks are praising themselves. That is same old thing. Nobody, nothing to sugarcoat anything yet. Oh, for the first time, it became a cliche in the ears of the people.
Obviously.
For the first, even to the extent, when Minister of Finance used to go to toilet, they tell you for the first time. The other minister for the first time. Only because people just want, you know, praise singing. Look at Donald Trump. Do you know the world superpower, Donald Trump, the president for the world superpower, the Republican Party that he's from? You don't even know what he goes through on a daily basis. Sometimes Donald Trump sending bill is not easy. You have folks who are standing, not standing for the party, they're standing for the country, rejecting it and telling, no, this can't go through. The Republican, somebody Republican will be Democrat will be supported, and at the end of the day, they look at for the foul margin and betterment of the country. They come to a conclusion that everybody see it was done in the interest of the people. But on the other way around in Liberia, no. What do you want to see the president for? That man go see the president. Then, unfortunately, if you get a president, you listen to the gossip. Okay, you listen to those recordings, including even Brendan Samuka, Warite, at the time, some of them who, you know, recorded having conversation with other folks on the president. What are some of these things are they fear? You hold up. You say, oh, the president like gossip.
Yeah.
She left food. We hold another recording from another person again. Why some of these things they stop? The president, the man said, you carry the money. So maybe the person who can carry the money, the person can go have conversation with somebody say, man, we're going to 10 million. We are going to carry 5 million to the man hustle. The man has to carry it. You know, what are trust lacking? You gotta understand what is trust lacking. Is everybody want to break the news in the country? It hampering the country because at times you will not have certain area functioning when the right pieces of advice are not given to the leader that place these people into position. Because that's where you see sometimes we just shift the blame strictly as executive, and you listen to the former president. He said we gave responsibility to people. They ain't all to do. All y'all can do is to shift blame on the head. And I hope some of you listen to what he said.
And that's exactly what happening currently. You hear about the president, but there are people given those responsibilities.
But the former president,
why aren't they
the former president spoke on that. He said it.
Why
aren't
they?
Then The only thing, they'll run to the head, you'll run to the president, the president. Yes, the people will go to the president because so many appointment and nomination. Let me say something. It's not easy. Presidency. Nobody should tell you that child's play. You can be 100 years old. What are you now working government to what extent? And I wanted the mistake we can keep making in this country.
For the 2 years, we are here.
That's one of the latest arguments I can hear.
And the president said that his first time being president.
I don't care what.
And his first time.
The vice presidency. Maybe if you look at in our recent history, or some people can say, even probably in the history of Liberia, Jeremiah Kuhn is not just a ceremonial vice president. He's active into the day-to-day running. I don't remember how many years I saw a vice president to be involved like that. And being dedicated with a lot of responsibilities. Trust me.
A vice president in the past like this, he will survive.
No, you just gossip that former vice president wanted to be president.
Yeah.
You saw how they pack her? They pack her until that she came close to resigning. But see this vice president. Committee set up. The president made sure he chaired this committee. Go and inspect why these things happening. Why travel to represent me, outside. Because all fear that this person will get so powerful and But if we dedicate responsibility.
You saw the former president Charles Taylor. Then the show why he had 2 vice presidents.
Sure.
Yeah.
And they're quiet. We heard the story about the late Harry former mother with Samuel Doe. The people told us on story that they were praying in town, or so now somebody think a big joke. Said a man slapped a man for saying something to him. But
our folks really need to rethink. Yeah. Because deception is just the order of the day in our country.
Actually,
on a serious note. So would the president? I would the president have further? Why is he? Because now, for instance, see what the conversation is going on now. The vice president is now taking over business, manufacturer, importers, taking charge. That it work? What are the people who is doing what the job doing? And they're saying, the labor people here.
Like I said before.
Yeah.
If people are in positions and they are not functioning, they are not functioning. Look, there's no need we be setting up all these different
There's no need.
Plenty Liberians here who are qualified, both home and abroad, waiting to work.
There's no need.
Look, get the person out, then the next person comes. If he or she comes there and does the same, you go. Because the vice president has a function. Why is true? He there as president of the Senate, not much here in terms of the way function handling some matter. It's good that the president getting involved in the day-to-day running, but there are some functions that institutions are duly established to perform. And if they are not performing it,
then what?
Mr. President, because if any committee is set up, you got to financially support the committee.
We're spending extra money, then you pump out the person in the position.
Like I used to say, LEC got power theft department. We set up another one extra today. We say don't know how much money we ever generated for the beginning of that.
Thousands of dollars.
No, let's come to millions now and ask. What is the financial report? No, let's ask the financial report. Can we turn these people over to the GSC to do? Because you're talking about, there are 2 different governments we're discussing now.
Yeah. Former President George Weah and his current president. That task force was set up, still functioning.
How much money can we say, in power theft we were able to generate these things? Millions of dollars. That's why we contributed to the national budget. That's why we're supporting LEC in this capacity, that capacity. You ask that kind of question, why you want to ask?
If I said they are one leading the sale of meters.
Yeah.
They are finding people. They are sending people to jail. How much have they collected over the time?
Take for instance, they either created a GSC in 2014. They will tell you every audit conducted, analyzed, and whether it is concluded. The legislature receive a copy and the executive receive a copy. Brother, we even know whether the president can even see these things. Because you know, they got some people, the protocol, they take and determine the protocol. One of the few persons who will have the chance to call the president directly, maybe he speaks to the protocol, or especially I will have this person come in, please usher this person in. But they are tolerant. At times the president will say, oh, Mr. President, we'll be meeting this person, or my president at 10 o'clock. You know, you got this meeting. Mr. President, you got 3 invitations, 2 from abroad, you know, all of these things. So that's why I would say the presidency. That the reason we can always tell leaders, when you have never sat in a particular position, Ambassador, be mindful of some of the things that you say. Because when you get there, any one misstep, it is a problem.
Sure.
Any one misstep. Today people are holding the president's feet to the fire that even in our wheelbarrow,
Right to go to work.
you're right to go to work. Failing to understand that you don't have control over that. And because people will not properly sit and analyze it, but they will just judge it from how you say it, that's why it's always good. You be careful what you say out. Because people will hold you for some of these things. And people, we need to be honest. You know, I always like to make the reference to Councillor Teron Gongo. When Mana Ellen Johnson Sirleaf had a reshuffle, and some at the time believed that you were targeting certain people, but in order to do it, they put everybody in one box and shake it. He was Minister of Labor. And you know, you must be a legal person, especially in that kind of area, because the kind of cases and then coming to you, they look at the legal side. So she had a reshuffle. Took him on labor, sent him to the Ministry of Post and Telecommunication. Other folks accepted the position of new people. And he resigned, he rejected it. When he was asked why, he said, no, I'm a legal person. All my life, from the private sector to the public sector, I'm a legal person, human rights activist, advocate, human rights lawyer. What do I go to do to Ministry of Post and Telecom? I just sit and wait for a paycheck. Let me tell you something today, Ambassador. That why got most of the ministry and agencies. You think they're existing and they're not functioning. Some of the heads that are over there, they don't even have a single knowledge of the function of this area, and they are surrounded by people too who do not have the knowledge of these places. So these places do not function. They only wait to see what comes so they can take. And so now the insincerity, the deputy who knows and understand that area than the boss, he uses his position and take advantage and start to damage the area. You know, he starts to damage the area. We got to be honest. Sometimes we just point to people, but and something.
We say our end of doing guesswork. That the country was just formed.
And nothing can beat my imagination in my life. That these people, the party executive will not even call these people to book. They say, what are we hearing about you? I want to come to think about the pastors, the pastoral board at the churches, the mosques, the people in the imam. You are afraid because there will not be a golden handshake. And your fear for speaking truth to power affecting the entire country. Yesterday, people, you know, the late Solomon George said it. He said, look, the reason why people always they deny me of seeing former President George Weah, because I was going to tell him he was surrounded by sycophants. He was surrounded by people who were telling him lies, praise singer. And after he said, you got to come to me he said, one time every week to have meeting so I get a vaccine on some issues. We got to be honest. If we pay advisors to the president and we see things going the way they are going, they need to answer to us whether they're advising this man, he can listen or he can't listen. You can have people carrying titles because all of these areas, the president has an advisor. The president got some resume. You got to go between people to know what's happening. You'll say, look at the kind of thousands of reports from GSC. Yeah. Which one have landed on the desk of the president and the president acted on? Is it somebody just standing at the gate receiving it and handing labor?
Yeah.
The words are all, you got chairman or executive. You receive copy of audit. You the direct link from the legislature to the executive. Mr. President, meet the protocol. Minister of State, I want to have a meeting with the president. I want to know as to whether the president received a copy of the audit that was conducted by the JC. And let the president go through it. You collect it, you make it look like a personal letter they send you or a personal document, put it on your arm, carry it home, the children start to play with it. Something that you move the country. We walking in the street, you buy paper color, you go see one head of a report, they coming from LACC. 1 year, 2026. Hey, but how come? Recent people like this.
Yeah.
We be in the street.
Who put it outside?
Yeah. See me, you see one paper from Ministry of Finance.
Oh, like that.
Yeah. And if I yesterday was saying something, these are the societal problems. Once you don't fix it, let me tell you something. Maybe that Jesus Christ can't fix that, bro. All that your politics thing, you'll be acting like you have no politics, you can do. These are the real issues. And anybody who will not listen to this thing, trust me, Liberia problem remains the same. The same old style, the same way people will come to power and do the very same old thing. We're discussing when people misbehavior started years back. These things what you're doing correct. The way leaders are speaking and conducting themselves, the young people, you saw what happened in Nima. The young people chose the path of the man the same way. Look at the kind of a song that you and myself we cannot even sing here. Look at the kind of song that was sung by young people who a lot of them that were not even born before the war. See what they have copied. They feel that's the only way to reply and no other means.
The parents who said that they received the best training when they were growing up passed on to another generation, and you hear them behaving or see them behaving like this today.
And you know what this mentality, when we leave power, before we say some things, you listen to the former Solicitor General, Councillor Serena Cephas. He said, by the cabinet retreat that we used to go for, that place was meant for merrymaking, we're dancing, having some happy time. But he sat in key position. After he got sanctioned, it's difficult. Today, he's speaking out to some of these things. He's speaking out. You have one key figure in the downstream government, I think the head of intelligence and whatsoever. You know what he said? He resigned. But very key position. He resigned his position. And that's why he said because Iran was not seen as a threat to wage war. What's the intelligence? What the report? He did not say I will leave a fast salary, a big job, anything happening. Because there's a tomorrow. There could be the next person that come and ask you to answer what's the report? What report did you put on the desk of the president? That he acted upon. Go and ask today. You still got people walking around bragging how they in possession of classified information of the country. You walk. Oh yes. And we joke about these things. We joke about these things. It will surprise you one of these days when one minister or assistant minister gets sacked and he comes back to tell you why the reason. We're blocked from seeing the president. Somebody wanted to go and deal with us. Because we refused. You saw the South African folks that came there. You know the kind of report they told the international community. They came to invest And people who were sitting in government decided to solicit bribe from them before seeing the president. You did not go bring the people. They saw the conducive climate, investment climate, and said, well, that place, okay, let's go there. The people came. You listen to Sir Joseph about how much money. But when we were told, when he left the party and established his own, when did we get to know that 150 million was spent on campaign? It was through him. But he said, when, how does a party lose an election that spent 150 million? Where did the money come from? But because we can leave all of the major issues to delve into, to address, we leave it and come to petty things. So we don't really care about who's speaking and what they are saying. Is it bad when America tells you that the economy is trying, but state need to be done? Health, education. And every time you see recommendation, it said people just want to see a report that tells that for he jumped for the first time or for the second time too. That for the first time we're seeing this. Say 1847 this. Because that's why that's what we have seen in recent time with our leaders now. Even ministers and directors. People working in ministry and agency. And this is something that must stop. And I think they carpet some things and they're not willing to leave it. You got people working. Government has lost money in the budget to run that ministry or agency. If you bought a bus or you procured a bus for your employees, does it constitute having cutting ribbon or having a program? Are you not telling the baby mother thank you for breastfeeding the baby?
Liberia.
You saw the other one the last time. RIA. That place that generated money. They got I think they rented some buses until they can get their own for MPA. I mean for NTA. Symbolically, they got to come to ERA junction for people for the employee, the managing director, other staff to drive to, like they'll be used. All of these things. So these things can be seen, and the president hear that these people working.
So it's just a showmanship. Then after what was initiated will continue. We don't know. You saw the other area there. What they posted, and they can put money together, put gas or fuel in the car.
Yeah, they leasing or bus from MTA to until they can buy their own.
The machine get money.
Government entity renting from government. Government entity leasing from government. Then somebody, what I've been thinking? The people come back and tell us, I left my high-paid job in America just to come save my country. You know the thing is doing, you know what to do in America. The benefit you got on job here, you know you don't have it in America. You know how long you will work. The physical cash you play with, you know you will not do it in the West. We're not saying it's 100% perfect, but you know you dare not brave going doing it like that.
The issue of accountability. You dare not work in a system that is accountable, then you don't want to be accountable to the people.
Yeah.
You don't want to ask you. You spend years in a position, but nobody should say why. You should just leave. I mean, I said the thing. The president needs to be in this thing. My Jabate, he said, have taken the things from the ministry overnight. And he's saying that he's about to conduct a press conference where he may reportedly will be leaving the Unity Party.
And he will probably go back home.
You see that? What we want the CDC, nobody know. Because the entire peace building role within the Arab local government is not defined.
I see going back. Who
And now
knows?
the position have been given to somebody else who was in the ministry.
Who knows, Ambassador? Maybe he just needs to wait a little bit. The president might just be looking around to have it because he wanted those presidents.
But the president has printed that door story again.
Yeah.
You see the door having the bone, his mouth crossing the bridge, looking at the water and see a shadow. We tell to throw the bone in your mouth to go for the one you see in the water over the fake one.
You know, this is another phase in another copy of throwing jabs. Like, I don't think, because there's one thing that former President Joe has also been criticized for.
Yeah.
Every time he spoke, he would throw jab. And people started to have problem with him. And it was not moving him. So we hope that the president too will not just get carried away. That he needs to almost like let him talk. There are critical issues to focus on. And these things required, like yesterday there, the president received the draft for the War and Economic Crime Code.
Yeah.
And for, you know, they'll be delivering it to the national legislature.
Because you give them 90 days.
Yeah, because they will be there engaging the lawmakers where there are needs for clarity, so they can be able to explain and all of these things. So to kickstart this thing. So it tells you there are a whole lot to be done. And those who are charged and placed in position must perform their duty. Must perform their duty. Because when the results come in, the people will judge. Look, elections are not won on election day. That thing, at the final day, people go to exercise the franchise, the constitutional right. Elections are won long ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Minds are made up. It might not be everybody, but majority have already made up their mind. So if you think 6 years forever, and you can play with 4 years, you will be cut pens down in the last 2 years or even the last year, and you will not have the chance to cover up. You will put yourself into quick impact project, compulsory quick impact project with all constitution. If you just work out one day, you see you being pictures like trim where you're not even supposed to be ready.
Mm-hmm.
So our leaders need to be honest.
Obviously.
And you see, one of the things that have damaged this country, rather, and we hope the president listening and those around the president listening. The president needs to cut down. When you hear that the president is going to Calcutta, you see the convoy that came in. One thing there matters, because ministers, director, assistant minister, some of them who got no part to play in it, abandon their jobs and following the president.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do then? You get your serious work to do to the Ministry of Post or Ministry of Labor, Ministry of Education. You go to these places when they are in line with what activities that will be unfolding there. Because probably it covers your scope, your 2 hour, you know, and you're there. You represent this, you senator, because you represent it, you senator or you support Joseph Parker or you for the Unity Party. So while committee should be having some hearings, he said no, the president going, Lofa are going.
Yeah.
Down to properly scrutinize it, and you come back, you asked somebody, I mean, you didn't know, during the budget hearing some years back during the regime of former President George Weah, when you were having a nationwide tour, some of the lawmakers about then when the guys were debating county development fund, district fund. After making assessment for schools, clinic, and all of these things, how do we put it in the budget? Everybody fighting their own case. Some of them, when they came back, what they met there, they started to complain. So some of the senators told their colleagues, I can't fight for you on this floor. I got my people on my back. It is you got a function, you got a job. You left it to go do something else. You left it. You know, that's why I used to like Madame Salif for. Madame Salif going to a function. You pray that she doesn't see you. In that function, you got no part to play. You're not part of the tolerate. Just know that you're machine there. And don't dare try to come there late. You know, I remember doing the lunch. On that day, we were launching. It's about women democracy radio. We had a gender minister who should have been there. You know, about Baba gave her the time. And she came a little bit late. And by then the president, you know, the president did not take her time to say, Madam Minister, is this the time you come in? Because it is a gender radio. And while she was trying to get justification, her communication officer wanted to talk, and the president requested her to shut up. Because I don't even know who is this person. You know why it does matter? It cut down cost. Because if care is not taken properly, let me say something. The reason sometimes you see this thing, so many people that go into the ministry and agency covers and say, you know, I'm going with the president, we are going there, we're sleeping there for 2 days. You get serious what you do, the president goes and you follow. You're not captured in the budget, but because you know you have a budget that you control, where your controller, whosoever, they will release it. That's how we grew up in the country and continue to do. The reason why, because we have sugar coating in this country, not saying the truth. Respectfully, by the time you disagree with your leader, somebody tell you that party discipline. You are not party discipline. I still remember the young man coming back by that, posting that the CDC must see the party internal beyond George Weah. He was booted, he was attacked, all sorts of writing. Why? So speaking to the power now, you
and it has been a culture and a tradition for Liberia on, and you wonder why are these institutions not working for the people? And you hear government spend money, taxpayers' money on institutions.
like here. How do we fix it? It's truth telling serious problem. Like when you know, why our leaders are behaving the way they are behaving. You know, is it also or another side?
One time, the people pretending to work and the government pretending to pay them.
Yeah.
So they want one result. How do you get result?
You got two kinds of people.
Mm-hmm.
You got some people that want work, and you got some people that want jobs. People looking for work because they want to leave legacy. People looking for job because they want to carry the portfolio. They say, "Oh, the man can go to work." Oh.
Yeah.
3 years what you gonna work.
You know,
what this is, is intentional or they pretending to forget, or they have forgotten.
And we just take it to be a normal thing.
No. But abnormal thing in Liberia have turned to be normal thing. Because even sometimes you see how people normally talk and it's just silly in the society. That's why you see in the public, I told you, recent, I don't even speak when people arguing, people talking, especially when now I'm concerned and got nothing about it. Even if it's concerning, not my business. I just allow your own fight. If I get a chance to say, I'll start fighting and part you guys, but you just hear people talk. You just hear people talk. And when you talk, they say, yeah, but let's go to the lines. Or what I'm not going to also think that he worked too much. He bought his government, even though he said the president did not promise him anything and he did not promise anything. But who knows what he too got people on his back from his country, your senator.
Mm-hmm.
And say, oh, somebody placed it there, say maybe somebody placed it empty there, no commissioner there. Somebody said there, no mayor there. Say, oh yeah, with it. And that's the time you want now, because the pressure you come from your people too. They need jobs.
Sure.
And they find you and see you in a position. So we have to be careful how we go into business sometimes. But let's talk to other callers on the line. Good morning.
Yeah, go ahead. People support government because they want work. Whether they know they work, but they say they want work.
And now it's not supposed to be like that. Because in other African countries, you can see them real for them. It's not like that, but in this country, once I support them there, they're supposed to get me job. If they get everybody job, there will be a job in their country. There will be job in their country because everybody said I was crossing PSD. They will get a job.
Government repeatedly have stated to you that it is not a work to give jobs, but they can create jobs. So attracting investment, investors, and all of it, because it will create more jobs. Because no way possible government can absorb. Even one party that you win, you ain't want to get all your partisans work.
Yeah. You're talking a good thing. So we want to push for you guys. Don't keep on telling us we get it. We'll get there.
Yeah. We hope that we all can do it together. You know, sometimes I hear people say they can change. Like the world will change. Because if you look at like the world, there are things that have changed. There are change that have changed in Liberia. There are some things you will see that parents are no longer doing because the education consistently being provided. Even to the extent now, even some officials, they are kept. You listen to Professor Fugo on the US campus. He said, "Me, I want to talk. The minister will talk. We will expel all." So I finished talking. I told my mom, like, "Hey, the minister working for them." Now, what are you talking? Are you afraid of speaking the truth? What are you talking? Can you defend what? So you're afraid of being expelled?
So it means that you were talking before without proof.
Yeah, the minister.
Or without education.
He said he talking again.
So now he said
If
he's not talking
again.
The more you say if he's talking, so they want you won't talk now. They
won't talk. They will expect.
You know? Yeah. That's very real. We really need to be sincere to ourselves. We need to be.
0775-919-919, are the numbers you can call us on to be part of the conversation on this wonderful, wonderful day. See, we're here doing the doing the passport saga. Yeah, man, say you better talk. I ain't talking. I'll talk.
Well, you know you can't talk. You want for all to talk, but we talk.
Good morning.
Morning.
Please go ahead.
Man, Alex, from One Hill, Road.
Alex, you're welcome. Let's hear you.
You know, our people, we wait for the level people for us to suffer. Because they not even get down for nobody. See, we create, they come up create avenue for people to work. Not only they come up here, look, they not get no farm, they not get nothing. I just want to run. And that kind of people running to the yard every day for $20, for $10.
And the essence of why people elect people is that they can serve as a change maker in their life. They should represent the positive direction, but on the other hand, it's not working. Why? Why is Liberia electing lawmakers, representatives, senators, president? Why is Liberia allowing the president by law to appoint ministers to various ministry agencies? But these various ministry agencies not working. Education, health. Why they not working? Why?
Good morning.
Yeah, go ahead. No, your name. Emmanuel Gabi, a runaway man. Okay, go ahead.
But so somebody may ask, could this be also the beginning of the downfall of the Unity Party? Some of the foot soldiers are complaining now.
If I'll answer that question, I'll tell you yes. That what happened to other people. They happen to other political parties, other ruling parties. And it's happening now. And the issue now you know what ECOWAS saying at the ECOWAS Parliament? Why they never include good morning, that 1 minute. ECOWAS is now saying why is it that Liberia members at the ECOWAS Parliament have not reported the issue of the border issue, the border conflict, and the explosion of the economy. Why are they including that report? They're asking them.
Good morning.
Go ahead.
Yeah, good morning to the team, Bachelor.
You're welcome.
I just came and I'm calling from down to grow. I want to start and listen up. But you must to the issue of my Javaja issue. The man just to be in the area. Don't get it, man.
Who?
No, you're rare. You're rare. Man said, when I'm being heading, I have my job. I said, okay, opening invitation refuse. I'll go be in.
Yeah, that's how we gave up my job. The open invitation. Come, let's talk what's happening.
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah. No, that like bro, we concern too now. You see what happened to John Solo here? We don't want the second thing happening again.
Yeah, not like getting Nigeria getting petition in Ghana, going in private.
Okay. Good morning. Good
Don't
morning.
hold the line. Don't hold the line.
Yeah, good morning. I just come from Koto.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. No, man, I say that thing. Let Omen do something. You were appointed man to the ministry. Yeah, now man taking a thing overnight going. You know what I mean? So the main one for people to see and you know when people moving at night, you know what I mean? The man taking a thing for in the ministry overnight, he moving. There's somebody running away. And Martha will soon have a press conference. The president Martha going to have, there are two things. The ministry, that one said, because the whole formation of the new ministry, the local government, the place saying here, no function of that area in our local government. Now, the next thing is that, what are you saying, you're the party?
Yeah, but now, all I told you, you appointed someone, but you want to submit it, then you don't officially. But you already appointed someone who you have. So why doesn't it exist? You can't operate that way.
Nobody,
They may not correct, let me front.
they each, we'll talk about that. Let's look at our
Yeah,
leaders.
let's look at the sincerity, why our institution are not working for us. Good morning.
Yeah,
Good morning.
yeah. I'm Tony Boy calling on Toronto.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Sir.
And the other thing is, I always follow you.
Thank you too.
One love because I want to go I say I want something so they can tell me for your power. I get any time you go. Because you get water and they say when there's no you doing your friend. Why you continue that they will not step up and will leave up. So you're telling that.
Thank you for being part of the conversation. Let's talk to other callers. Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Bar and Daro Pro.
Good morning.
Our magazine, we.
That's the right. This is program magazine, I call from Western, and my Western community release for this morning.
Good news. That's what I want to hear.
We don't sometimes bring on the people that surrounding the leader. Because the leader themselves, when they get around people when they need it,
Yeah.
your vote.
Yeah, really that's just an ambassador. When you want to put vote, you go to them, you lie to them, and when you take power, you throw it away.
Yeah, you don't do it. Let me tell you, for example, the Montana president power year 1987, he had no one to go to carry. But because of the information, no, they don't go. He sent BP Bolivar to represent him, along with the USA director of the United States, Dr. Matani Albright. So when you were having to with the journalist, I raised my hand. But the security fully allowed me and the other people for carry. So when the lady recognized that, she said, do you want to talk to me? I said, yeah. Why? I said, I want to have fun here with you. She just took a call car and wrote coffee on it and gave it to me. She said, you can communicate to me. And you know, just a walk from there, the security said to me, I should get back to them, the walk out of what they to me. I said, no, I can't do it. Yeah, I said, I can't do it. You were here when the lady took it for a man and started and gave it to me. You had stop me from going around her, and now she recognized me and gave me a walk out, then he telling me to give it to you. I said, I can't do it. So the leader are just like that. But the leaders are very want to see if our people will always make themselves available to them. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you as well. Let's talk to other callers. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Brooks. And good morning to your friend. Look at President Mohammed and former down post Punyo, Western community and a member of the concerned Liberian for justice. Brooks and your friend, thank you this morning for your discussion. Because this is what's going through my mind. last 10 years, we heard people saying it was the people surrounding President Weah that was the cause. It was the people surrounding President Weah that was advancing President Weah, and that's why he did not take decisions. Predicated upon those information, President Weah was put out. Why are we hearing the same old thing today? It said that there's a bishop cycle of our government sector.
That's the question we're asking. That's the question we're asking.
If that's the question all of us are asking them, it said that they are not real to us or they are not very people. But my elephant said on the issue that has to do with Jacob Koluma and Mark Jabate, broke in my mind, the Unity Party is shouting themselves in their own legs. Because, Brooks, look, Mark Jabate and Jacob Koluma was very instrumental in bringing this government to where they have to be. But the way, the foreign manner in which this government is proceeding, to me, is just like how bamboo world can behave. They are eating and they are closing their back. Forget to know that you need the same people in years to come.
Yeah, and why nobody talking? Nobody been in a circle to talk about it, but why nobody talking? And why the president ain't even talking? Because he was heavily involved with these people yesterday. Why today?
So, but all of that, it will be difficult for him in 2029. Thank you very much, Bruce, for giving me this opportunity to make my presence on national issues. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's talk to this caller on the line. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Brooks and Nathaniel Bar.
Good morning, Mr. Christian. Yes.
Yeah, it has been very long time.
It's been a while, Mr. Christian Nelson. How you doing?
I think it's been a long time.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, the whole thing about what actually took place with Mark Jabate, you know, I'm a unity party team member, but it never went well with me. The same way our leader said that yes, God cannot make you learn. Why they created a I mean, it was not correct. Yes, you created a place that don't even have any kind of human spirit. How you expect the man to work? You just think the man right. It was very unfair. I mean, let me speak to power. You see, it's not good. Yeah. So I said, you know, I've been very disappointed, you know, the way we came up.
Yeah. And the president who appointed Mark Jabate is not talking. Why?
Yeah, he just said it and he's not even speaking. You know that's not disappointment with our government. The way they are doing, you don't speak to things when it happens. Yeah, they put it in public. Thank you, Mr. Bar.
Thank you for this. Let's talk to this caller. Good morning. Let's talk to this caller on the line. You're live.
Yeah, good morning, Wiki.
Good morning.
And good morning to my last. On that, the art of brilliant voice, I'm a little loud of Wiki. He said, what happened to President Barana talking? The meeting members, President Barana talking is simple. They didn't make each other, so you will not talk the same time in concern. So I want to say that when they say the photo of the drug, they get the warning to the government. We need each other to the party, they start bringing around the marriage. But don't forget that not today, taking breath for somebody to do it, or over there for somebody to wipe and see the people. You know, we trust that you will maybe the point to go, you got for a 2 year experience. So that's the woman that I need to see out there, then they say that TV there, that woman kind of correction. But then the woman give about, yeah, whether the TV, but one of the day we make the same approach to the government. So that's when now, we go to the certificate, we go to the body for 1 year, to all do the people therapy. Everybody in the point down, the daily basis, everybody crying,
so let me ask you now. It say you need to apologize to the public because you say we brought this government. Were you part of the folks that brought the government to power? Okay, then I mean, if you have seen the wrong and speak, just point to some of the wrongs, constructively, so they can listen and know that you're saying the truth to them.
One is that removing or two, this government making the body very hard for the community. People crying on a daily basis, or people or money are not going the way they expect to go. This government told me that they're going to see how them to improve the health system. The health system is very good. The education system is very good on this government. Almost everything the government gets in the country now, when they are there,
So now, the way you help to bring this government to power and you can identify these kind of problems, how you intend to make sure that they do this thing and correct this thing, because the people suffering according to you. You can't wait for 2029. You know how many lives to be taken away. I remember the poverty rate might increase. So what can you recommend? It says like yes, the people you have 2029 will move the people. Well, man, then you better buy like you get bridge so you get there. So you can scrutinize and critique them properly. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, this Jones came back to the body fracture. Let me just start by saying, good morning to you listening on. I listened to the book for you. You spoke as to the inner circle of the president and that of why institution continue to fail. Let me start with the inner circle of the presidency. I'll give you a classical example. You see, former president we are. His inner circle was one of the reasons for which we failed. That is, those within the inner circle of past presidents and even the current president, those people, if you check their history, 99% cannot survive as a day without government job. Therefore, they do not look in the face of the president, oh, Mr. President, you are proceeding wrong. The former president we are in Tampa, the people needed him most to support issue of national concern. He went to studio. He then woke up. See, if you have those people then who could stay and look in the face of the president and say, oh, Mr. President, you cannot proceed like this. Your people need you more than ever before. You have to speak to them. When you see what people are just big on survival at the expense of governmental job, is what you receive. So you guys spoke on the inner circle of the past presidency and that even that of current, it is what we continue to see. Even after some of those people to get the ears of the president, they go to voodoo doctors. If they to just get the attention of the president.
Is it a revelation?
No, brother. So it's left for you to decide what it is a revelation or not. Now, as I'm saying to you, you see, we have problem in this country.
Because we see now that the former president still had these people around him.
So it is now his decision to look at what happened in town past and make the best decision in the interest of this nation. Now, you spoke of institution. You know why those institutions fail? Well, most are grossly incompetent because they get there because political alignment. Therefore, current president Boyka, most of those he had, those appointed people are people that supported a campaign. Most of that grossly incompetent or being that they contributed morally and some financially. They are there today, and some are there based on political party alignment. That's a reason. So tell government in Tampa and current government continue to affect the best brain or for the best people, forget about political alignment. You always continue to find institutions failing because people there, they lack the qualification, they lack the expertise, and they lack the academic credential. And you have them that well, Unity Partisan. Oh, yes, I supported Boyka. Tell go to Boyka when you are ambassador of Boyka, you get a go so you can reward me. So that what we continue to see in this country, tell our leaders, can look in the face of people and tell them indeed, I'm going to appoint people to position based on what you know.
And June, yeah. just before I conclude with you, let me be honest to you and everybody listening to you. One of the mistakes our Liberians keep making, that's why you need to have a total reform, because some of the positions the president gave on do not spell out any qualification. Until you can understand that simply, you will continue to have these things. Because the president didn't get qualification. They just tell you what you want to have age. They didn't got no academic qualification to be president of a representative. People who are making decisions for the whole country, you leave them and run to the president. And that's the mistake. Thank you. Let me correct this thing. No, that the mistake we're making. This is the most simple thing I can tell anybody in the country now.
You can't tell me that people are in government, they are not educated. They are the one with a degree.
Let's go from the beginning. Joe is an educated man. And Joe should not even be coming to the show be saying some of these things. Because he will not be picturing and saying the right way.
That's why I said, those in the government,
You got constitution, you got
they
constitution.
got the PhDs, they got a master's degree, they got it.
No, they got papers.
They got no things. But
Ibazolo.
why are you not working?
Ibazolo, I want my brother to understand today. If he don't know, let me provide the education to him. There is no qualification in terms of academic. This country. The country they will tell you, somebody will be telling you something. To be president abroad.
Yeah, the same again.
To be president abroad.
To me, sir.
Yeah.
Sending your money in the
It's
account, properties.
But nobody will tell you.
He say be a PhD holder.
Yeah.
Be a man. But you go in and say you must get when you go to your choice.
And at a mistake, most of the guys who claim to be intellectual, they can always be whipped. Because they are failing to look at where these things should start from. And I don't like to teach people these elementary things. The first branch of government, you got nothing that guiding these people. Everybody just walk out.
Yeah.
And you expect to have a president that will not have his way on these people? Simple. Simple. And just go and read around. The president must be controlled by these people. Checkmate it. Even if America do not have anything of such, the fact of the matter is this. You got somewhere where you have one unilaterally cannot sit down and make decisions because the folks who are there, you know that they will not allow you have that kind of space. But you don't have it in Liberia. You want people to make good laws for you, somebody who have never sat in class. And the way we can quantify or qualify education, we got to rethink and redefine. Like you always say, even some of the traditional people, when they can come and sit down here. Yeah. And some of the cases they will settle, you think that they've been to school. Some of the very same people who here, that the people they can go to see pieces of advice. And we got to stop these things. We got to stop it.
Put in education, qualification.
And the way we do it, and that's the reason people bypassing to just get fake papers.
Yeah.
When you look, let the system work. When you set the system to the extent you think the people will beat the system. Let us start thinking and feeding in that way.
Jerry, you said it. What you supposed to say? YS certificate, right? Come and read. The people who you have graduated from high school.
Yeah.
Simple sentences, they can't read it. In different forms, they can't. People, imagine you should be able to, by the time you go to first grade, second grade, you should be a good reader already. You got to read. Third grade, sixth grade, ninth grade, you should be able to read and write well.
And you know, one of the mistakes that we keep making in this country, because a lot of our probably we don't read, go to most of the ministry and agency that are positions that require nothing.
Well, we attach education, but
so that means nobody breaking the law.
Yeah.
Because if
you tell the man, okay, you qualification, remember the document to you, and by bringing the document, you qualify.
You look at superintendent. You look at superintendent. The person have 3 years experience.
Yeah.
You look at security. The person have 5 years experience.
Yeah.
But you don't ask somebody who wants to be a lawmaker that you must have this experience, this level of education.
Yeah.
But you take power and place it in one man's hand and makes appointment, but yet and stay. Look, even if the president, I will say this. Even the president has the right to wake up any minute and say, Andrew Gamo, you can go to Ministry of Lesson, man. The people who are supposed to confront him, they are there. So if the president testing the ability and go through, that's joking serious.
But you told the president to appoint at your will and pleasure.
And the people work. That for the people, they work at the will pleasure of the president.
Of the president.
The president wakes up and decide, I want you here today. The president don't have to justify to anybody why he sacked this person, suspend this person. The president doesn't have to do that. So until we can have a reform and set certain standard, these things will continue to happen. And you will continue to complain, oh no, this and another person, so this and another person. But see even besides, see the people with all of the qualifications on the paper. No uneducated man can steal so easily.
Yeah. Like I can say, to hustle against spam. That smart against spam.
You know what you want to do.
Yeah. You know what you want.
No uneducated man will just look at his system The only way he states or she states, maybe you see a lawyer nobody that is but you can never sit before when you get papers or even where you go receive. So at the end of the day, you got people who tell you they say just sign here. They may sign. He won't know. So that's the first branch of government. Chief Justice, the highest person in terms of our judiciary, the legal system of our country. The president nominees get confirmed by the very same people that we were talking about today.
Yeah.
Some of them are senators, they say to confirm somebody, they are not lawyer, but you say they are on a committee. Yeah?
Yeah.
So we're missing the mark on so many things. And that's why I keep saying these are societal problems. And we must fix it. When we do not fix it, we will always be shifting these kind of blame. You have one president here, you're sending a man to that school.
Yeah.
Nobody talks about that.
And no, they're doing their own thing. And I see, man.
But they still referencing,
they're
referencing today as one of the best. All the time, man, look at the way the man did escalate equipment. He made it up, but he finished it.
The man went to that school.
Yeah.
And you now want to send your child in that school, but you want a better education. So we make a lot of mistake. And we think of getting it right.
You know why? We don't want to start over. Maybe we shouldn't.
Yeah, no, that's it. We don't want to accept our mistake and correct it. We won't start over. When somebody says, well, which country ever got independence from? We'll go through the document. That's one organization.
We got to.
Yeah.
You know.
But we still feel that we're doing something right.
You listen to some of the songs we sang in this country. Which country you find where educated people be singing these kind of songs?
Yeah.
You came a man, you came a pa.
Oh,
vote for you.
You know, boy, you not know, boy.
You know who went to convince these people? The so-called educated
people who are educated, the masters,
they told the people,
PhDs.
They told the people that everybody blaming the man, say that the man spoiled it, the man said, yeah, he will fix it. And the people went on to believe it. After a few times, war came back. Later on, we heard Iron Lady. They poured it. Few months after, they called Mami Wata, Moral Rebel, all sorts of names. They threw up on them. When people question the academic record of former President George Weah, though he sat on radio, debate, and stated down to tell the government you had never graduated from high school.
Yeah. This is a ball.
Yeah. People got into the street, you know book, I will vote for you. That's the level of education. That's what they know. We have one man here today, people still praise and say for the way he used to conduct himself. Tanapoli.
Yeah.
Oh, that probably was too experienced. When he's speaking, people listen to him. If I know some of the folks today, let understand, some of the folks today who are lawmakers, they enter capital bidding before they acquire the level of education that they got. Earn degrees and other professional certificates. Go there. So we got to understand. So these are the problems we are having that we restrict these things. I mean, even at the Ministry of Commerce, to be Inspector General, they get nothing there to tell you, say, you can't go be in, you must have this. There are areas that require certain things, and there are areas the people just overlook and they did not put certain things in it. Yeah. You tell someone, he say, are you telling even the party that you support, the party is incompetent and looking at people, someone that is not educated and they put it on a party ticket? Even though they go to party primary or convention and put the poor on the party ticket, you shooting yourself in the leg, so you the party put again. You know, it's just the scene. You hear somebody, the man unfit. How did he get there? He ran on a party's ticket. The party saw him. Everybody was the best person in the party put him there.
And say you fix it, and say you can fix it now. But you know for the way that you spoil it. But you say fix it now.
You said that was the oh, the man know this, the man know that. Parties powerful people against that was the law. He beat some people that they couldn't recognize them any longer. For I want, they don't want Shaq Wyatt. He won Blue, Bernard Benson.
Sure.
He won Thomas Fowler.
Thomas Fowler, oh.
And that, but then not just a key figure, a new and established lawmaker, businessman. You think people voting on these things? Until we get understand certain things and look at what can you deliver, what can you put on the table.
Sure.
See, all the people that we're talking about today, the criminal records are unsanctioned people, are educated people. Let's name them. Charles Taylor, he eat a hay. I mean, the UK. Educated. Today, up the sound, a lot of you can even compare him with my Ellen Johnson. Extenuating, he will speak with us, stuttering with words. You have Mother Ellie. George Weah King. He said, oh, the man, what they do, but he became president. Some of you still question his education. Some of you, that even some of the folks that surrounding him would know what they said about him openly. They fell out, they went back. Today they argue that the chief of officer, they doing this one, they doing that one for him. You have anything with fixing the problem? You're opening wounds. You gave a constitution. Anything from the constitution, you questioning it, I mean, you should be questioning yourself. Meaning you don't understand it. Because the question, can I tell you that they get a kind of appointing power to the president? Is the president bound to do the same there? The people who screw don't ask you. The screw don't ask you. You got position that don't require qualification. When the president makes an appointment, the men not going for confirmation. They start functioning right away. What he will do? What will you do? So we come back. That's how you see we got these problems. That's how you see where we are today.
And the problem we don't want to accept, we don't want to realize our mistake and face it.
People had a constitution.
One side.
People had a constitution to suit them. And we stay up to this time thinking that it's good. Then we complain when the president makes an appointment. Yeah. When the president is acting in conformity with the constitution, like what we put before him. Man said he follow it.
Like,
so we are following it.
The man said when it comes to power, you have wheelbarrow to go. But then the position you go into, the provision is there that you are taking care of.
Yeah.
So when the men start going to private jet, start wearing all the talk to do, it's there. And the constitution provide that he be supported monetarily.
Entertainment.
Everything.
Health.
Yeah.
These things are there.
It's there.
But when you see these people doing it, we say, oh, they overspending. Yeah. The same thing we did it with former President George Weah. They may try it too, man.
But the provision there.
It's there. Was he outside of the Constitution? When we go, let's go to the aspect that talk about violation. We'll be specific with it. But if we allow the people to act, then that's the time people won't go to people's history. You know how many presidents came to the town today, they are successful, they did something, today some of them not even abroad. We know there are people who came from towns and villages. They never spent 1 week here. They straight for the town and village or whatever, they were in and start taking them from here.
So when the one that was the first time even coming to the city.
Yeah, you must say every year. The
the
last time we saw play, and when you go around, you see you carry somebody. So these are some of the problems. The president comes to power. The president will be appointing. So now you can't even conclude your appointing power until that time elapsed. So you see how Liberia looks, and that's the problem that you see today.
Else, but we still want a different result.
You send people to make key decisions for the country, but you don't have stand up for them. But they know how to quote the Constitution when somebody they say somebody violate. Because few men and money who don't understand the law say check the other article that they defend it. What kind of man will go to the University of Liberia and graduate in a sign man, a sitting lawmaker? You standing a stone throw from your alma mater and sitting on the bowl and carry talks on the campus. Who does that? All the water that they fought, they brought people from way up into. Michael got to say this thing, oh?
Yeah.
They brought people from the Liberia country illiterate to fight war. They never described capital.
They said people were doing for them come home.
Yeah.
But
They
never
never
had in
described.
mind to
Educated people reportedly today are charged.
were
Educated
leaders
people.
of the country.
Educated people, including somebody that is sitting with PhD in jurisprudence, charged. Who said this thing? Okay, that's somebody. H. Weber formerly said something, and I was just saying it to somebody earlier. They started laughing, and the person, you know what? It's one of Liberia's stable diet. All the world foreign investment, you know that people never describe the FIJ.
No way.
You know that the war of the FIJ is still running.
Yeah, we're coming.
Nobody destroyed the machine. The people kept running in time. Maybe because it's still on 1 or 2, but they say, oh yeah, the people lose that, they spoil it. Maybe you won't take generator. Even World War III that we're talking about, we saw people bringing the draft beer, the stout. They're bringing, what the crates. They want to make there. But they know that right after the war, that the only thing that will unite people sitting down and talk the talk, say, my man, not easy. You don't, there are things they saw as important. You look at Transformer and they start shooting it. You say again, the paraffin are in it, the gas are in it, they can move car. The illiteracy rate is high. And unfortunately, political parties are not even providing the lower education to folks who support them. They put them in a violent posture. They put it in the tell when somebody say
the people,
they put it in the tell somebody say this thing, respond like this. And the good thing about some of us, we don't respond to you.
That deceive them, and who can govern them. That deceive them. The fisherman mentality.
Yeah.
Muddy the water. The fish will come out. We'll see them. You feel they like you.
Today, people complaining.
That's when I tell you we want people water.
Yeah.
Who carry there?
Today, people complain, say, oh, President Boga wearing custom mask suit. You expect that to be wearing that nothing. It says, I have suit, what get it?
That's the one when you put in the water,
No, don't go far.
Water
Don't go far. I want to describe it. So when he say yeah, he'll start crying. How they show up.
Yeah.
But the woman is saying, you know, face it way back, the clothes there, you know, what Bubai.
You put the sponge in there.
They may be up. But see what the man's wearing.
What's the man wearing today?
See the suit.
Look at the provision. It's the conversation.
They turn it up. They turn it up pen. They turn it up wedding pen. What the man go see the kind of pen. It's custom that the president. That's why it comes with. But the reason why they can fall in this problem is the way they speak before coming to the position.
Yeah.
We saw former President John wearing something like everybody want to go Google.
Yeah.
They say mentioning like 6,000, some popcorn, some popcorn. That the kind of thing we won't put in the Constitution. That's why we put there. Yeah. When you hear the lawmaker, he said, you know why people look at Keke and put lawmaker plate on it and went to the Capitol building? They were demanding what was justice for them. They earnestly in place in the Constitution. They were not just being violent. Though they went and they broke the no-go zone era and violated. At the end of the day, they listen to them because it's there for them. Whether you can read, you can read. Your 45,000 for your car must come.
Yeah. What do you like? You
like it?
It's there.
When educated man is controlling 15%,
Yeah.
he decided to hire and fire.
And nobody coming to say, let's change the constitution. And the making of the constitution at the time, the amending part of it were done by the educated people. Who says in education, oh, they put on no pope, they put on qualified to be in the position. And you heard the Unity Party youth.
If I don't go far, let me make you understand some things here today. You got people who graduated. We hold some of these things. People who graduated from the university with dead people ID number. You know the system will not repeat it. When you say, oh, but I see him already. You put a man out. Somebody in the system is putting the man through. Because he gets low salary. So they better, he put a man through, the man goes to the school. In 2 years, you see the man graduating. Because the ID the man get, and you look at the year at the time, today some of the folks have graduated from high school, from university, whatever, they are no longer using the name because they dare try to go back to their own name and again.
I went to a dead man ID number in the graduating from university like brother.
You know? That's how the system
work on.
We just left the system open because certain people needed to be certified. Then unfortunately, the 1986 Constitution, go see the people that do put place on it. So educated people.
They may want to nurse people.
I come back now. So educated. They let Dr. Sawyer pregnant boy today. She can be working time. Just look at them, come up on them. They printed, just look at the list and see those folks who are representing the various countries. What do you see play there? But that's why they wrote though. Whether they were on a peace gun, we know. They carry in one room and put a gun to their head and say, y'all ready in our favor. But we still got the chance since after the Civil War to review some of these things. No. We stay there. And that's how you see we got these problems. Look at the concessions. This one thing I wanted to talk about. Look at the concessions.
Yeah.
EPA finding B Mountain, Asala Beta. That's a kind of a shame to see the finding these kind of because it just tells you that they feel that when they pay money, they just get it right to do just what they want to do. They still be telling B Mountain to top a road, then they're polluting the people's water where they can go, the creeks. You see fish dying, chemical pollution, all of these things. The people go to the creek to drink because you feel you got proficiency in your pockets. You do anyhow. You got rails pocket. The places is passing. Affected community again. You finding them. You find about 130,000. That one did already check.
That one did.
You know,
but you see a affected family charging the company for damages 100 million. The government institution could find the people 50,000.
China, but boasting about the biggest investment they have in the country, $1 billion.
Yeah.
They finding them. The last time again, they were telling the post they have not paid their corporate social responsibility fund for almost 7 years. Who been collecting it? These things are not justified. Some of these things must be in compliance. Now you see the Puto Mountain something, they halted it to look into it because the previous deed, let me review what did these people do in compliance. Because when the system is weak, that's bad part of the law. When the system is weak, the other government that will sign what you can't come and undo. Because what did you put into it that failure to comply? These are the things that are supposed to happen. You leave it open. Failure to comply. What do you do? But we don't live in these things. Oh, yeah, that's the thing. You don't know how many President George Weah appointed with all education background and study did the same. It is not to call names, because if they call names, someone stay around, they stay in key position. Somebody who woke up one night, somebody who heard at the deuce. You know, you look at technical error and you send somebody with all that technical knowledge, and the people who are there to make sure that it's scrutinized, to send it back, only because probably they will send something behind. They confirm. When the people do not perform, we run to the executive. The executive, when has that appointing power or nomination power, but they got folks. Then the same constitution gives the person the right. And you see to the National Election Commission, until the Senate can return, without eating a thing,
yeah,
the ball acting. That's how. When they send Mary Brown at the time, she already rejected, right? Mary Brown went. The person said no. Man said he sent her to go and act. Nobody could tell from there. That the kind of a power we give. So if you tell me Nana, you send me to the Ministry of Agriculture, and if I go for my conference, I said no, the man got no education. The president got the same power to send me rep back to be IT. That's how it works. Just like that. You say when the president reject, then the president can't send you back. The president go back.
Yeah, go be there. I don't want to send you.
Yeah, you're IT. Because the leaders know the ability of these people, especially when they got the folks who are planted among these people that have tested the people intellectual ability or know how they are greedy. Anything they see, greedy hunter, you pay them 10, 50,000, but two boy, everybody ready to take it. We leave these things. And that's the reason why we get space for too many people to be corrupt. Because the places that we can put our focus, we can allow the smaller thieves to grow. And when they are sent to power tomorrow, it becomes a serious problem for you. You run after one president. You leave the minister, the representative. You protect them. The party protect them. But all eyes on the president. But these things can happen when people are in a country that is poverty stricken. Who in America cares to see what kind of suit Donald Trump wearing? Who concerned about the beast, the car that he's driving? That's the standard that the security standard, that ain't control. That's not his control. We worry over the kind of clothes people can wear. Cars people can drive. Some of the stolen cars that can come to this country. Money laundering, how to place it. We get attracted too much in this country by flashy things. See the watch on the man. You don't even know what the purpose the man is wearing it for. That the Trump card. I saw the man when they take gold chain. They put the money in it. The dirty money goes into these things. In the middle of transit, find somewhere to sell. Break these things, go to the grocery shop and other places. Some of our ministers, directors who in government represented, they can buy from these people. They just don't know what they buy. As far as concerned, the card is good. We got a whole long problem to address. Start from somewhere, nobody cares. Oh, the man, I see the minister, he's out building 3 full houses. We need a reform. Look at what we're doing now, bro. You have an election this year, and somebody turns 18, they are saying, yeah, we deny you. That person come and wait for another 6 years before he or she participate in election. Election is in October. The man goes to register his birthday in September. You will still not understand that person, those people who folks that will not have that consideration because they will tell you now in the law, you must be exact. So that person has to wait. So these are the problems. Let's go to the lines and talk to our callers. Sometimes we got to provide somebody education and see why our leaders can do these things. Why? Why our leaders will do these things? Sometimes they test the ability of these people. Like I'll give you one story here. Let's talk to this caller on the line. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Dr. Woody.
You're welcome.
That thing that you're talking, after the unelected people, they are formed this agreement. So you're the extent with a land that said over to it one week no. Because they know that it is in their interest. You don't have to feel we are entitled to anything that whenever we are enjoying, we care for the Bible rest.
Yeah.
Because they know it, the capacity with
my brother just said something. He may tell you something today. If look at in the house there, no standard. Let the problem educated or uneducated, everybody taking the same pay. So if it's somebody who are educated, they know that outside of that job they got, who can pay them that kind of money?
No, they know. So all the people when they cannot reach, they pull up to other.
So brother, you get PhD, you get it one, all of them taking the same pay. They get the same gas rate.
They are on committees making decisions.
They stay on committee making decisions. But just few committee when you say that because you liquidate something extra will come. Yeah, that is tutorial class. Good morning.
Good morning, we give brother class.
I can't complain.
My name is Nathan Complain. My name is Prince Bala. I'm 24 Lower 22. Down social business.
Okay.
Yeah, in my teacher, I always on the side. I don't have no proof, or I always want to appreciate you guys for the level of education. Sometimes you people give us free of charge. And you know, I always consider whoever will be on number one radio station. Now we give those charge for free, take it to the bank. What you guys are doing, we see the results. That you are local, that you are not the students anymore. We are day by day down to the school. We are at the school. So no one will tell you the way just tomorrow saying, oh, that law will not see my life, or probably a bill will not see what that law will see by the grace of God. Two stations by the grace of God, that law will change.
Thank you for always following, and we gotta be hopeful and change something. You know, the reason I will be difficult is until we can look at our laws and put politics aside and just look at the masses and capture and say, in the interest of the country, this will work for all of us. This will work for all of us. You get uneducated and uneducated people campaigning for one job together. The elected make the decision. They don't care. The people go there.
People look at appearance, the vote for the power.
Yeah.
You look at how wealthy you are.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Wiki, and good morning to the great world of Garfield.
Alex Moma, good morning.
Yeah, Wiki, let me appreciate you and your co-host, Nathaniel, this morning. I've been listening to you guys carefully. And, I mean, your thoughts, some issues that we as Liberians and all this country we should really look at. You know, at times, we put politics first ahead of the country, which is not correct.
Yes.
Yeah, you check around us here, people play politics just like us. But what they do, they put politics first instead of putting politics first. You know, I mean, like I called a few days, I think it was on your show, you know, your show, or through a band.
You know, when I'm listening to our former president, Wiki, I got disappointed in the former president when she tried to consider Yeke to be a voice that the lawmaker tried to silence a critical voice. After disappointed, man, said up to this movement I'm speaking, I'm disappointed in you. How will you call somebody that been that rude from day one a critical voice? A man said he want to look at anybody to be a critical voice in the government. Let us look at Honorable Eddie Mary Snow. Honorable Snow is critical of the government until every matter inch he pick it up. And he discussed the subject matter. They've been very rude. But not somebody who been insulting a former president wife. That means insulted Madam Grace how to call or Madam William for 6 good years, and our former president had nothing to say. He insulted, President, William himself. I think President Baka on it. That kind of man, a former president, a madam that the world and this country depend on. Calling your kind of critical voice. Again, I'm disappointed in Madam Salim. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's talk to other callers. Good morning.
Morning, Ricky, and good morning. I'm the voice of Mama Masipa, joining from Thank you for the topic this morning. Ricky has said this time immemorial. Liberia and the politicians, our politicians. These are people who they are not in the interest of the country. And I always say this thing. If they left with I don't know, Ricky, they just vote for president and vice president. When the president comes, he will elect people. I mean, to serve the interest of the counties and the ministry and all of this.
But when still not be running away from the problem, because that means you will say, oh, the man appointing people or the woman appointing people, are the will again.
So you see, like the one problem, I really don't know. Because if we take the side of politics, thinking that the people will be in the interest of the country and that things will get better, the worse it becomes. That's why we elected new government, but the same thing that we saw from CDC, we now see the United Party, first on the United Party not doing it. So I mean, I really don't know who we can really trust now. And God himself, she doesn't really kind of to face this country. We ourselves can make this country a better place. But because they're having the mindset of people who have been placed in the public office, I mean, we just keep going around the same thing. So I really don't know.
Okay, thank you. Let's talk to other callers. Good morning. Let me talk to this caller. You're live. Yeah, Frank, go ahead. Thank you. Let's talk to this caller on the line. Good morning.
Yeah.
Good morning.
I'm Avi Johnson calling from Tupo Road, chairperson for the Concerned Librarian for Justice.
Alvin, you're welcome.
So you see, when we talking things in the country, some people who are looking, it's not about who go in the house. It's about who will change the house for the people to benefit.
Sure.
Because education is not about you learning on paper. It's about why you understand and why you able to change for people to be able to live happily. That's what they call education. So those that act that they are educated, most of them, they enter the house, they do the wrong thing, even more than the uneducated people. Because some of them will see reason to not do the wrong thing. But the educated guys will play around those guys' brain and try to make them to look that they understand what thing they're doing. And then they will follow them in the wrong. So that's why you see going on. So to change that Liberia, you got to first change that house. That house is the problem for the country. Yeke Kodwa was saying it and they ran behind like cat running behind our mouths. So that the country will find ourselves in. So that's it. You see the president campaign all the good things. President, we are the top man job and give it a ball. And the country is, the president is using the country money the wrong way on travel. The president is building houses in ABC. But this president is building $3.5 million mansion in VR. He building $10 million mansion in Lofa. He rides $2.2 million bulletproof lesser armor piercing vehicle. He is there. His children on lavish travel around the country. He saw refurbish his car. So all the good things he talk about today is the opposite. So you are only trying to come to state power to be able to grab the people money and enjoy himself. So thank you.
Thank you for being part of the conversation. You're welcome. You're live. Let me talk to this caller on the line. You're live. 0775-919-919-0880-9. You know, nobody say education is not good. But when it comes to the presidency, what the kind of power the presidency gives the president and how one might enter the house or the legislature, you get a long time to cry. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
My name is Aaron B. Sarah. I'm joining you from Ghana City in New County.
You're welcome.
Yeah, go ahead.
We are referring to the president and our politicians in Liberia.
Why?
Oh, it's you. The people are not nationalistics. The people only deal with issue what is happening to them.
Yes. And that's why we talk. They got all of the problem. They get all the means to just solve it instantly.
Instantly, yeah. But what's happening for them is they grab their hands.
They remove speaker. They got all the means. They will change places where they go have session to expect somebody. And I'm not talking.
But the country must still stand there.
Yeah. They made people to be celebrating somebody.
So you know we need to protect the presidency. We need to protect the seats. That presidency. We need to protect it because when you see somebody insulting somebody, you say, "That president, expect that president to insult you when you as president." But the Trump, they said that the Trump funded them so. And even the president can be given prior when door bagging, we know the people who don't go on door bagging. But when you go on social media, you look at the president, that 35-year-old president in Burkina Faso, when I say the way we give the power, but the way we proceeding in the country, some of all we feel happy. We even think of being Burkina Faso. But in our country, we're very serious. We go country that Thomas and Arab came from. The people stood for Africa. There again, because they have to give for coming from there again. Standing for Africa. Then we are all a country that for our children, voting for our children, is still looking at it. For all this point that we go back there, no, we go over there, no way. No, hell, I can't know. Thank you.
Thank you for being part of the conversation. Good morning. Okay, let me talk to this caller on the line. You're live. 0775-919-919-0880-919. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think you're talking the education business is matter because look at all the quality where geography you see all the guys that come from 15 grade
we go to police, so they will do our public 285 Nigerian money service. They only take 2 years to deal with man or say 145 so do agriculture, but the other day, the other day, you know, the first man, the man will be the help of the day. Why do you get my dad that will be the help of the day? Follow where you are. They say, you know, they point all you can say, you have to first take the money. So the body is not, we have to money. We want to go out there and do that.
That is a tell you. Good morning. Good morning, sir.
This is the fault of POP with me. I have to take that, on the container of justice.
Go ahead, sir.
All right, so what I want to say about education comes in 3 forces.
Are you there?
Okay, don't hold the line.
I tell you what.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Dar. Good morning, again.
Good morning,
Yeah,
sir.
come in.
Yeah, this is something to say for you from this morning. Thank you for the question. You know, you guys are ready to learn. And I hope many people are listening to you guys and are trying to do. And like what we see. Why you got to do the whole business. Yeah, brother. That you can make it go. Because he could have both of them, let them come to the business.
No, sure.
And that was because people follow you up because of the rules and ability to hold the government. But does that mean that we have to go to business to hold the rules? We don't think of responsibility. Not it. I get a good one, let's take about it. I don't get all of it. I think we have responsibility to what I said. We give our tongue the power of life is there to ask you the truth. Legal governance from the parliament, the Equa parliament. I was like, no one wants to tell what, how now they are looking for against the Equa parliament and you that. To say, what is for our people are not talking about it. It's probably the people that are yet in the back. It's like, no one else is going to say, they must hear nothing but what down now to what that is. As we see now. But I love the way they talk about it.
No. Thank you. Let me talk to this caller. Good morning.
Yeah. Good morning, Bachelor Bros, and good morning to Bachelor Bar.
Good morning, sir.
Right.
Yeah, man. All right. Eddie, that's not talking for 3 years ago. We need to tell something that really makes sense. Education, you got to be fluent education. We can have some guy get 3 masters, and they can't even give them BSc, bachelor, but it's with first. And moreover, for now, because of this educational requirement, there are a lot of people that do workplace center degree. You know that some people in restaurants will tell you the president who even sit for classes, they wouldn't buy the grades. But what I'm trying to say, like people they structure. So that even in a institution, only they have 30 years of practical knowledge. So that they correct us. They just go, boss, we'll not go to not make it. We'll go to strengthen the building. And the flow with that, you go to things that correct. So everything has to do a degree, but when it comes to the state, it has to do with your own contribution in the law for a country. Now I can do it. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you as well. And that's how we will draw the curtains on this edition. Many thanks to all of you for being part of the conversation this morning. Without taking any calls any longer, we have to go home. Time flies when you're having fun and discussing critical national issues. I'm Wiggy Brooks.
I'm Nathaniel Vaughn. Check it out.
Many thanks to Andrew Gamayo who sat behind the sounds and video this morning. Until then, have yourself a wonderful time.